Welcome, everyone, to a new episode of GOREFEST at Tiffany's, the only show on YouTube and probably the internet as a whole dedicated to Scream Queen extraordinaire Tiffany Shepis. Now, look, 2025 sucks ass. Am I right, Rachel? It's terrible.
Oh, yeah, 100 butts. If
So,
it sucked, 100 butts.
yeah,
Yes.
but this show doesn't. So, if you're looking to take an hour out of your day to not dwell on the bullshit of the world, or 4 hours if you listen to our last episode with Mr. Rolf Konevsky,
Triggered.
then hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell because these come up whenever we have time to do them. There's no set schedule. And join us as we sort of crawl through the depths of horror icon Tiffany Shepis' career, one no budget film at a time. And we got some doozies on this episode.
Doozarellas.
So my name is Matthew, and I am joined once again by my partner in micro budget horror viewing crime, Rachel. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be back. I mean, I have gotten my education in all things Tiffany Shepis from by proximity to you. So
Mm.
this feels like a very exciting moment to be back.
Yes, yes. So today's show, we're going to talk about a few different films. We're covering two short films: the classic Man versus Woman, which I am sure you're going to have a lot to say about, and then we have three feature films: Abominable, Devil's Moon, and Dorm of the Dead. So we're going to be talking about
Ooh.
all of those in excruciating detail. We're going to go point by point all the way through these, all like 5 minutes that Tiffany Shepis is in these movies.
Right?
Yeah. So, and that's what I will say at the top. This is when, so I have a big master spreadsheet of Tiffany Shepis films, and we're just kind of going through them in order when we can find certain films. And what I've come to realize is that during this portion of her career, there's not a lot
Mhm.
of starring roles. And so
Mm.
we've been finding as we watch these movies, and it's like she's in it for like 2 minutes, 5 minutes.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
eventually we're going to get to that point where it's like, okay, now she's in a starring role in multiple movies, but we're not there yet, folks. So
Okay.
so we're trudging through some of this stuff right now. How are you feeling about? Give me your initial impressions of these movies when you watch them, just as a
Well,
whole.
I'm glad to hear that there is going to be a phase where we get into her career where she's in the leading roles because one of my notes when we get into this is like, why is she not the final girl in this?
Mm.
Why is she not having these bigger roles? All the ones that I've seen up until this point, for the most part, she's been in supporting roles, and she comes in and she steals all of the she has all the riz. She has and then there's
Yes.
these like sorry basic final girls that are surviving, and I have some feminist conspiracy theories about it, but we'll get into those when we get
Oh,
there.
okay.
But
Yeah.
generally, I'm like ready to see the ascension of Tiffany ASAP.
Yeah, and I remember because I've been a Tiffany Shepis fan probably since the late '90s, early 2000s. I mean, I remember renting, Tromeo and Juliet and all that stuff when I was there was a lived in Aurora, Nebraska, and there was a video store called Nebraska Land Video, which may or may not be the title of my upcoming book. May or may not be. We'll see.
Hey.
But I remember just all those, low budget films and renting them and always thinking to myself, like, she's the coolest thing in this. Why is the director not casting her in like the bigger role? And maybe if we get to talk to her at some point in time, we can sort of ask her thoughts on that. Like, did she feel like she was just pigeonholed and stereotyped as a specific thing? Like, it's kind of shocking to me that you have someone, because everybody I've ever talked to that's worked with her said she's amazing on set. She's like the life of the set. She keeps the energy up on everything. Like, why wouldn't you want that person through the whole making of your movie? I don't know. I don't know, but we'll have to parse that out as we go along.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is episode number 7. If this is your first time listening to the show, we have over 10 hours. I counted up 10 hours of Tiffany Shepis centric content for you to consume. In the previous 6 episodes, we are slowly but surely making our way through Tiffany's entire filmography, or what we can find anyway. And so, the possibly unattainable goal of seeing literally everything that she has ever been in, we will see. We're making our best effort to do that. And I have a cool update that's coming up about that.
Ooh.
We debuted a few episodes back some never before seen footage from Smoke Pot Till You Fucking Die. It was an old Troma
Yeah,
film.
that's
It was an
right.
old Troma film. It had never been released. It had never even been edited together. And we were lucky enough to get some exclusive clips and premiere those on the show. We might be having another film that was never released that we might be able to not only see but show some
What?
stuff. Maybe. I'm knocking on wood. Knocking on wood.
All right.
I'm in.
I'm knocking with you.
I am in communication with the director right now. I don't want to reveal it yet because I don't want to
Look at you teasing the
well, see,
fans.
this is
Teasing
why
the
you gotta like
fans.
and subscribe, right? Because
Yeah,
now, if you're
ring that bell.
if you're a Tiffany Shepis fan, you're like, holy shit! These guys found another lost Tiffany Shepis film, and I'm going to see more stuff that I've never seen from Tiffany Shepis. So stab that bell, whatever you got to do, um, because and that I will say that's one of the best things about this show so far, for me personally, is finding these films that the filmmakers just never released, right? And
Yeah,
it's like there's so many like micro budget films, and we'll talk about this later in the show. We have a couple topics of conversation for this episode because there's not a whole lot to talk about these specific movies with relation to Tiffany's role in them because she's not in them very much. But it's so interesting to me that so many of these films got shot, but no one ever
right.
saw anything. It just sits on show. I have my own film. I got Return of the Robo Mummy from Outer Space, Part 7.
He's dead. Really?
I shot in 2017. It's on a hard drive upstairs. Still hasn't been released, and it's awesome. I still haven't got it all to the point where I'm comfortable with putting it out there. So we as filmmakers, it's like we make something, and I don't know if it's sort of like we're too ashamed to put it out, or other reasons occur. Maybe not everything got shot, so it's like, well, the film wasn't finished, and I can't put it out that way. But just being able to reach out to these filmmakers and say, hey, I'd be interested to see it. We'd love to watch it. Can we just throw up
Yeah,
some clips? We don't have to put the whole movie out there, but like, hey, if you
yeah.
have some clips of Tiffany Shepis acting in a movie that no one's ever seen, email
Let's do
us.
it.
Outpostunknown
Yeah.
at gmail.com. We'll put them up there. We'll show Tiffany's fans all that stuff because it's a great thrill to be able to do that.
Mhm.
Now,
Really
before
cool.
we get into the news, because I do have a number of news items here, Rachel, are you still recovering from our interview with Mr. Rolf Konevsky? We've made it to that part of Tiffany's career where she's now in this micro budget stuff, but I know the Rolf thing was an epic experience for you in particular because you were the one talking to him most of the time because I had
Yeah.
technical difficulties.
I don't know that you ever really leave that space when you are speaking with Ralph for Ralph for 4 hours. Like you kind a part of you is always there. It's
Yeah,
always in that Zoom call. No, honestly, that was such a fun
it
conversation.
was.
I could have talked to him for 4 more hours because I feel like there were four more hours of stories
Oh
just
yeah,
about that one film. so so yeah, no, that was epic. I don't know how much you ended up cutting, but I can tell you, having been there on the front lines, that
yeah.
was an epic interview, truly.
Yeah. And I really encourage if you're new here and you want to hear some wild filmmaking stories, wild.
Wild.
Go listen to
What?
episode 6 of GoreFest at Tiffany's. It's awesome, and Rolf is an amazing dude. Super fun to talk to. I cut a lot, but I left in as much as I could. Like there was certain things where I'm like, probably best if this doesn't make it out there
But
into the
they were
world.
so juicy.
They were juicy. They were juicy, and this wasn't even stuff about Tiffany. These were just like random
Yeah.
stories that happened to him on the sets of movies and stuff. And a few of those, I'm like, we could
Cut
probably
to 20 years from now, you're gonna get an email in your inbox. It's like, Release the uncut raw," and you're
yes,
gonna be sending them clips
yes.
of things that have
Never,
never been seen.
never go full Rolf, people. Never go full Rolf. You gotta,
Man,
you gotta
I
cut it
went
down a
full
little bit.
raw.
You did. You were there for the whole time.
Mhm.
So yeah, go listen to that episode. It's super, super cool. It's long. It's like 3.5 hours long or something. But put it on while you're doing something, and just listen to the stories in the background because it's pretty cool.
Epic.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so news. Now we were supposed to record this like 10 days ago or something. I think Rachel, did something happen where I was left all alone looking
I mean,
around? waiting.
That sounds like an existential problem, and I want you to know that I'm always here for you in spirit. Yeah, I had a little time zone math issue, okay?
Yes,
I'm right-brained, I'm creative,
it's okay.
I'll write you something, but arithmetic, we don't get along, I don't know her.
It's fine. It's fine. Um, the reason why I bring that up is because we were going to record on June 1st, and I happened to know that that was the birthday of another very famous scream queen, and a scream queen that was actually under
Mm.
consideration when we were batting around initial ideas for doing a show like this. This individual's name came up, and that would be Danielle Harris. So her birthday was on June 1st when we were supposed to
Oh.
record. So shout out to Danielle Harris. Her and Scout Taylor Compton do a fun podcast called Talk Scary to Me. So if you've ever listened to that, that's a good time. They always have a bunch of guests on and stuff. But Tiffany Shepis, when she did Casualty Friday way back in 2019, I think it might have been on Fangoria at that time. She did an interview with Danielle Harris. So I will link that in the description below so you can go listen to a very old Casualty Friday. Go ahead.
You and I did an interview with Danielle Harris.
We did?
Yeah, 1,000,000 years ago. You and I did an interview with Danielle Harris for
No.
Women in Horror Month. I
No.
Yes.
I was there. How do I have no recollection of this? Are you sure it was
I
me?
think you were in just, like, such a fangirl fugue moment you've forgotten, but we 1,000,000% interviewed Danielle.
Well, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go try to find this allegation you've made that I was interviewing Danielle Harris. I have no
I'm
recollection of.
swearing on this copy of Trivial Pursuit Ultimate Horror Edition that this occurred.
Wow, wow. Okay, gosh, that was a lifetime ago. That was a lifetime ago. You would think I'd remember
Yeah.
something like that. Jeez, I'm
Yeah,
cutting this whole
yeah.
part out of this show so Danielle doesn't watch it and be like, "Oh my god, I'm
Well, I
forgettable.
think
I'm so
what
forgettable."
you do is you find it and you cut a clip of it in.
Okay, I will try to find
That's
it.
the move.
I
It exists.
Okay, okay, okay. We're gonna find out.
5 minutes later.
Speaking of Casualty Friday, um, Felissa Rose, Kane Hodder, Tiffany Shepis. There hasn't been an episode since December. I don't know if it's still up. I don't know if they're just all on movie sets making movies and they haven't had time to podcast or anything like that. So if anyone knows, leave a comment down below because I have not seen a new episode of Casualty Friday since December of 2024. Another reason 2025 sucks. So
I know.
it's just
Add it to the tab.
add it up. I did look up if you are a fan of Tiffany Shepis. Now, I was going to ask Rachel, have you ever been to a horror convention? I know you're worldly. You go around to all kinds of events and stuff like that. Have you ever been to a horror convention?
Yes, and I actually
Okay.
saw Felissa Rose at that horror convention.
Really? Which one was it?
It was CreatureCon in
CreatureCon. Okay.
Sacramento. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it was a ton of fun. Kind of a smaller convention, but it was like very intimate. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
yeah. And I went to that one, and I've also been to Whorehound in Cincinnati. Those are the two that
Okay.
I've been to.
But yeah. So Tiffany's going to be a guest at a couple upcoming horror conventions. I noted New Jersey Horror Con September 27th and 28th in Edison, New Jersey, and Cinema Wasteland October 3rd, 4th, and 5th in Strongsville, Ohio. So I will link those into the show notes in the description. So if any of you want to get tickets to those to go see Tiffany Shepis, by all means, go do that. Now I've been to many horror conventions over my life. Never been to one where Tiffany Shepis was a guest. And so
Yeah,
I think at a certain point in time, I'm just gonna go to one. I'm gonna walk up to her booth. I'm gonna see if she knows who I am. I'm just gonna be like,
right.
I'm gonna have her like sign autograph Dorm of the Dead or something. Can you
That
do?
would actually be incredible. Like
Yeah,
if we just picked some
we
completely
should. You
randos,
and I should just
we
walk
should.
up and then
Yes,
and
let's
see if she
go.
notices. See if she notices.
All right.
See if she
All right.
notices.
Done. I'm
Okay.
in. Let's
So
go.
yeah, so just note, Tiffany, at some point in the future, there's
Mhm.
going to be a convention. We're gonna walk up. You should put like on like
I
dark
was gonna
hair.
say, I feel like I might give it away.
You might give it away. You might give it away. You might give it away. But I'll walk up to her first, and then
Okay.
you could be like right behind me, and then we'll be like,
Uh-huh.
"Would you like to be a guest on GoreFest at Tiffany's?" And see what she says.
No, what we try to do is get her to record a plug, like you know what I mean? And
Oh
then
yeah,
and then she finds
that's
out what
great.
it's called.
Last piece of news here. We have Tiffany Shepis is apparently in a comic book. This is I
Oh.
gotta buy this. So this is it says I guess the comic's called starring Sonia Devereaux, Scream Queen, Summer Camp Massacre parody from American Mythology Comics, and this is the description. I'll post a photo of the comic cover here. When real life Scream Queens Linnea Quigley, Brink Stevens, Michelle Bauer, and Tiffany Shepis co star with Hollywood's 306th Best Actress, Sonia Devereaux, in this one of a kind movie within a comic book, horror films have never been so bloody hilarious. Cast as iconic Scream Queens, the actresses attend a horror convention held at the notorious summer camp that inspired the slasher genre. What could possibly go wrong? Glad you asked. Their camp uniforms are too small. There's only one stall, so showering becomes a group activity. And the original serial killer, Ragface, is back to continue his streak of creative, gory murders and to stalk the sexy starlets. Legendary movie producer director Fred Olen Ray of Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers and Scream Queen Hot Tub Party also appears as a legendary movie producer director in this uproarious special 48-page spectacular slasher film satire packed with
Wow.
fun, fiends, and foxy femmes. So
That's a lot of kills.
I think it's like $5 or something on the website plus shipping and handling. So I'm going to get this, and then I will review it on a future Gorefest at Tiffany's episode because
Perfect.
I think that's cool. Like I want to make a comic book. I've always wanted to actually make a comic book of one of my stories. So to see something like this, I'm always supportive of it. So that's cool. Um, actually, I lied. There's one more piece of news. So I'm trying to do a lot of deep dive Tiffany Shepis research for this show. Like, I don't want
Right.
this show to just be like, hey, here's a movie, we watch it and done. So I'm trying to give people as much of the Tiffany Shepis lore as I possibly can. There's
Oh,
a great
okay.
site called archive.org. I recommend people go to it because people upload all kinds of crazy stuff there. There's movies like Steve and I are doing watch alongs of Freddy's Nightmares, for example, that old television
Mhm.
show. It's all up on archive.org. Um,
Mhm.
but there's also magazines. There's like Fangoria magazines, Gore Zones. People have scanned them and uploaded them and whatnot. There's an old magazine called Femme Fatales magazine that used to be all
Amazing.
Scream Queens. And so I found an old quote. Tiffany Shepis is in multiple of these. They're up on archive.org. I'll link them in the description below. But I found an old quote from the 1990s. This was like before she was really, you know, I guess super popular. This is like in her early Troma years, I think. And I want you to, I'm going to read you this quote of what her goal was for her career when she first started. So we're talking like probably 18 years old, 19, something like that.
Oh my god, I'm
And then,
so
and
excited.
then we're going to discuss as we go through Gorefest at Tiffany's. Do we think that she met her initial goal? Now, a lot of times people have goals when they're very young, but then as they age and they get older, their goals change, right? And they're like, that's not my goal anymore. Now I got something else going on. But this was the quote from Femme Fatale magazine. Quote, I just want to do 2 or 3 films that people will remember 15 or 20 years from now. Something that'll be really good, either a cult classic or an A film. I'm really into that. Not for people to notice me, but that the whole film be remembered. Unquote. Which I think is it's to me that quote actually stood out because 18 years old, right? Of course, everyone wants to be in something that's remembered, but I was actually struck by the thing where she's like, not for people to notice me, but that the film I'm in is
Mhm.
remembered, which I think shows a level of self awareness that a lot of people at that age probably don't. If you're breaking into the industry, of course, I want to be known for me, right? I want to be
Mhm.
noticed as a great actress, people noticing me. But I think that's interesting. What are your thoughts on that as a goal and kind of from what you've seen so far, we have a long way to go. Whether or not you feel like she's already met that, or we still got a ways to go in the filmography for that.
So, okay. I mean, I think the thing that's the most revealing to me about that quote is what it speaks to about her values, which I think even at eight, first of all, to be an actress and have those values are kind of incredible, right? That they're so sort of communally based is really interesting, and that it's not very like me. Either that or she's very self-aware and knows how to give a good quote. But I'm gonna take it at face value. I will say that that sort of ethos is something that disconnected from you. I had no idea you were gonna read that quote, but I feel like a lot of what's happening in the movies that we're gonna talk about today speak to a piece of that, which is that desire to make something with others and to create like the communal process of creating something to be proud of. I think you can see that in everything that she's doing already. I know by reputation that she must probably hit the other part of the goal. I haven't seen those quite yet, but I'm excited to explore that and find that out. But like I feel that that is a very revealing quote about her character, and it is backed up even just in this episode.
Yeah, and I think that if and when we get to speak to her in the future, I definitely want to ask her about this quote because I think that
Mhm.
in the grand scheme of things, it sort of depends on how she's looking at it. Like, for example, Tromeo and Juliet. That's a film
Right.
that's remembered, right? That was
Right.
her first film,
Right.
right? Her first sort of feature film. So you can check that off, right? The Hazing, I would
Yeah.
argue, is a film that, at least with her fans, remember to this day. You know that was
Right.
a big film, and there'll be others coming up. But I just thought that was a cool quote. And again, I'll link
Yeah.
it archive.org. I'll link the in the descriptions. Some of those femme fatales magazines not safe for work. Just letting you know. don't be open. Don't be opening those, browsing through. A lot of
Uh-huh.
sexy photo time in there from our favorite scream queens, I shall say. But
Excellent.
lot of cool interviews throughout the years from various scream queens. It's always fun to go back and like read what they thought at that time. And there's a question that
Mhm.
I'm going to pose about some of these films later on, that I think will circle back around to this idea of, what because I know certainly as a filmmaker, what I felt when I was 23 making my first movie, my goal, certainly not the goal of when I'm 40 something, right? And I look back on something like, should I have written that? Should I have done X, Y, and Z? Um, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. So the last thing I want to say before we get into the actual films and start discussing them is a call to arms. A call to arms out there. I know there's people that are watching this show who have access to films that we don't have and that we cannot currently find. So I have 3 films on here. There were 4, but I've narrowed it down to 3. Knock on wood. But I'm not going to say what the other one is.
Ooh.
If I can secure this other film, we will watch it on the next episode and hopefully premiere it on the next episode. But we shall see. So there are 3 films that we are looking for. The first one is called The Basement from 2005, directed by Michael Karp. There are no reviews of this on IMDb. The synopsis is the man living in Ben's mailbox is selling everything Ben needs to be happy.
Uh,
I,
what?
I
I
don't
I
know.
need to see this.
So
This
do
sounds
I.
wild.
So do I. So if anybody out there knows Michael Karp, knows how to communicate with Michael Karp, or has seen The Basement, or knows how to obtain The Basement, please send us an email at outpostunknown@gmail.com, because we would like to see that. And one of the things that I'm also curious about is a lot of these films on our IMDb just were never made, right? So the one that I'm not going to talk about yet, the filmmaker said it was never released, but it's on IMDb. It's got the full cast list. It's got everything on there. So was The Basement ever released? I don't know. But even if it wasn't, if someone knows how to get us that information and so we can verify it, so we can check it off the list on our giant spreadsheet of 180 movies or whatever, that we don't have to keep dedicating precious moments of our lives trying to find a film that's impossible to find, that'd be great too. The second movie is a movie from 2006 called Speedbag, directed by Stathis Barnes. Now, Rachel, do you know the name Stathis Barnes, the movie character? This is clearly a pseudonym by this director. Stathis
No.
Barnes.
It sounds like some sort of like Russian mobster and they're like using it to launder like mob money or something.
Have you ever seen David Cronenberg's The Fly?
Yes, on a previous lifetime ago, we watched it
Okay,
together.
okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
See, I have no recollection of that either. So you have all these memories that we did these things. What has happened?
I'm so glad that these moments we shared were so precious
Jeez.
and meaningful to you.
I think I have the RFK brainworm or something going on
I
right now.
think you
Jesus.
might.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, so
Yeah.
no, yeah, he played Gina Davis's like creepy, sleazy ex.
What are you doing in my apartment?
Just happened to be in the neighborhood. Felt a bit scummy.
The guy with the beard.
Okay. Got
That
it.
Brundlefly barfs all over his hand and is like, "Oh!" Great movie in my top 10 of all time. I argue The Fly, Cronenberg's The Fly, greatest tragic love story ever told in cinema.
Yes.
Greatest
Yes.
love.
Mhm.
I will die on that hill. Fight me.
Yes. Yeah.
Now the
I can
tagline.
confirm you've been saying that for a decade
Oh yeah,
because it
yeah,
is what you described it to me as when
yeah,
we watched it.
yeah.
'Cause I remember.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to all those old shows just to refresh my memory of Rachel. All that was Rachel back then.
Yeah.
The tagline for Speedbag: "The fight that never was."
Okay. So
Currently,
this
it's
is
the
some sort
film
of
that never was.
sports movie?
I don't know.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Currently, it's the film that never was. So if anyone knows how to obtain that, please let me know. Outpostunknown@gmail.com. And then the last one here is a film from 2006 directed by Tom Proctor called They Know. Again, no reviews on IMDb. The synopsis is: six friends venture their way to a weekend cabin resort for what they think will be the time of their lives. Drunken debauchery and good times ensue when their fun is suddenly slashed short by a backwoods hick who thrives on the taste of human flesh.
All
So
right.
I'm pretty sure this one was released. It looked like there was some photos on IMDb from it, maybe. But again, currently don't know how to find it, and I'm willing to purchase it if someone finds an
Yeah.
eBay link or something. We've done that with some films in the past of Tiffany. So there you go. The Basement, directed by Michael Karp. Speedbag by Stathis Barnes. And They Know by Tom Proctor. If anyone knows how to obtain those or can get them to us, let us know. Now, let's dive into the films, Rachel. The very first one we're going to talk about is a film called The Classic. The year is unknown. I think it came out maybe 2000 ish. The way I came across this is I think Tiffany had posted a link to a previous show, one of our shows, on her Facebook. And I was looking at the comments, and it might have been her brother or a family member was like, something like, I bet they haven't seen The Classic. And I was like, and I just scoured YouTube and then I found it. So
All right.
I found The Classic. So do you want to go ahead and set up this short film? I think it's like 5-6 minutes long. It's very short. What is The Classic all about?
So, I believe it's Tiffany and Debbie Rochon?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. All right off the top of my dome. And Lloyd Kaufman, and it is a black and white, sort of Charlie Chaplin style short film, with the sort of title cards and all of that, and they are a group of friends standing outside when one of them, when they're robbed by a man who takes Lloyd Kaufman's purse and
Yeah.
runs off with it.
You have the inner titles
All
there, and he goes, "Oh no, a dirty purse snatcher." They're always dirty.
um, and then, that person is also assaulted by a second person who then we find out what's in the purse is his big dildo,
Yep.
which thankfully, happy ending everyone, is returned to Lloyd Kaufman,
Yes.
and, it's wiggled about here
Yeah.
to and fro.
And Tiffany
Yes.
and Debbie back away slowly from Uncle
Yeah.
Lloyd as he wiggles his dildo around. Um,
Yes, the classic.
yeah, and the end credits have like some fun outtakes and behind the scenes of, I think there's like some convention footage maybe and just some general outtakes of it. Uh, she does not die in this. I will point out
No.
we are trying. I mean, the death reel. I don't think we've had a death for the death reel in quite a while. We will have one finally on this episode, though. Very happy to say. No deaths, so I wanted to make a note of that. I don't know who directed this. I don't think it said in the end credits. If it did, I apologize. I must have
Mm.
missed it. This is clearly done in the Troma era-ish, 2000, 2001, something like that. Any thoughts on The Classic? I mean, it's so short and there's not a whole lot to it.
I mean, it to me, what it really struck me as is kind of one of those things that comes as out of like an excuse to get together and do something
Yeah.
silly with your friends. It's something we have done. It is definitely a thing, and it comes through in this. Like it's not a, there's no in-depth plotting of any variety. It's clearly like somebody had a funny one-liner and they're like, all right, let's just do it Charlie Chaplin style. I do think it's sort of a perfect pairing of concept and style, in that like in this format, well, because I think in this format it's at its funniest. I think if we
Yeah.
had a lot of really dumb dick jokes, it would not be as charming as this is. And there is something kind of Charlie Chaplin-esque about Lloyd Kaufman. So
Yeah.
yeah, that it feels like an inside joke adds a little charm. That's
Yeah.
really kind of all I
Yeah, and I
yeah.
think I think the fact that they decided to turn it into a silent film with like kind of like the goofy old silent film score of music to it,
Yeah.
everybody over exaggerating, that sort of theatrical type of acting. Lloyd Kaufman, you know, um, this guy's been in our lives for what, 30 years? It seems like, at least in mine. I remember watching Troma films in the early 90s. And you'd pop in the VHS and Lloyd Kaufman would be there and he'd be introducing his movie, always in his bow tie and everything like that.
Lloyd, tell us about this new film. I believe it's called Tromeo and Juliet.
Well, Troma's new film, Tromeo and Juliet, has got all the kinky sex, car crashes, and dismemberment that Shakespeare always wanted but never got.
Tell us a bit about the story.
We don't have no stinking plots in Tromaville. Stories are for wussies.
And I've got all of his books. I've read all of his books and everything. And just to sort of like, he's always that character. Like I wonder, is he that way in
Mhm.
real life? Or is he just always playing a character? Uncle Lloyd, it's going to be a sad day when he passes away. Like, what happens to Troma when that happens? Is Troma done at that point? But it's always fun to. You got to be into that kind of humor, the Troma style of
Yeah.
humor. If you're not,
Mhm.
you're probably not going to be into it. But I like the fact that the filmmakers decided, hey, let's just give this some style. So it's not just Lloyd Kaufman being Lloyd wiggling a dildo around and ha, isn't that funny? So it has a little bit more depth to it than the typical dildo
Mhm.
waving short 5-minute film.
Yeah, a
So
little more artistry.
yeah,
Yes, yes, yeah.
yeah. But if anybody is watching this, maybe Tiffany's family member who mentioned it, and you have the backstory, leave it in the comment down below because I would love to know how this film came about and what the reason was. Because that's always fun to know. I always love the stories about how films came to be.
Mhm.
All right, next film. Now, arguably, I think this might be the best thing that we watched. What?
Hard agree. I loved this
Okay, okay,
actually.
okay. Well, I'll go ahead and let you tee it up. What film are we watching or
We
discussing? I
are
should say.
watching Man versus Woman from 2006. It's
Yeah.
another short film. It's largely a silent film as well. It is set in a post-apocalyptic future where there's no more water on this deserty planet, and there is a man, there is a woman, there is a robot, and there is a dinosaur, and all of them
Yes.
all of them are converging on the same little patch of water. And then we get kind of like a Sergio Leone kind of standoff between the four of them as they all assess each other for resources and try to get those resources by various means.
This is fucking awesome. This short film is fucking awesome. I didn't know what to think about this because this also wasn't online anywhere at the time. It might be now. Like a year and a half ago, when we first started GoreFest at Tiffany's, I just IMDb Pro spam the contact information of every filmmaker I could find that had information on there. Like, hey, would love to see this movie. Is there any way to do it? And the director, Juan Carlos Vargas, he emailed
Mhm.
me and he's like, "Oh, well, yeah, I can make it available to you to see if you want." And he was at the time trying to get distribution for it and stuff. I don't know what ultimately happened with that, and so he gave me access to it, but I never watched it because I was like, "Well, it's going to be a while before we get to that part of her career, so no rush."
Yeah.
Um, so I didn't actually watch it till I watched it for this show. I was blown away by how good this thing was. There's CG, like obviously the CG is 2006, but it looks super good. Like the
Yeah.
Velociraptor stuff looks good. The robot looks good. All the intricate details of the robot, like spinning around and the guns,
Mhm.
and all of that. And yeah, Tiffany plays this. I guess it's kind of like a Mad Max kind of thing. She's kind of like in a Mad
Yeah.
Max sort of
The
outfit.
Wasteland baddie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And just trying to get this guy. Wait, okay, does she wants his shoes, right? And he
She wants
wants
the water and she wants his
and
shoes.
he
Yeah,
wants
yeah,
like
yeah.
shotgun shells that she's got or
Yeah.
something, I think.
Uh-huh.
Um, and yeah, I mean, I laughed out loud multiple times during this. The Velociraptor like licked his tongue coming out, trying to like when it sees the people, and they're
Uh-huh.
visualizing eating each other.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is so good, and it's like 15 minutes long.
Uh-huh.
But it doesn't feel like it drags because the actual
No.
cinematography and the way that the director is selecting the shots, it keeps you engaged the entire time through. But so ultimately, and we can go ahead and spoil this, I think. So spoiler alert here. Um, what is the man distracted by ultimately that
I
allows
mean,
what's
the man has eyes.
he does. A man
And
has
like I
eyes.
said,
Sounds like
she's a
something from Game of
wasteland
Thrones.
baddie.
A man has
Yeah,
eyes.
yes, the man has eyes.
Hmm. Yeah,
So yeah, she uses her feminine wasteland wiles to distract him, and it's kind of incredible.
it's so funny because so yeah, she basically like he's visualizing basically making love to her or whatever. She ultimately ends up stealing everything from this
She gets
guy.
everything.
And then like the only line of dialogue in this entire thing, and there's music and sound effects, so it's not like a silent film. There's all that.
No.
But the guy just gets up basically with nothing. He's like, "Ah, shit." Ah, shit. I just laughed. Just the way that actor delivered that line was so funny. And then it's just Tiffany wandering off with everything. She's got like the gun, she's got the
Everything.
Velociraptor meat, she's got everything. It's so good. It's so good.
This to me, I feel like it's a shame that this never happened, but how perfect would this have been as one of those sort of like Sunday afternoon sort of camp adventure shows like Xena
Oh
or
yeah.
Briscoe County Jr., like that era of film. Like this is like
Oh
about
hell
the
yeah.
right time. And tonally, this is right. Like, I am ready to go on an adventure with this woman. I want to
Yes.
see her go to like some weird wasteland encampments of like those like IG-11 style robots who have started a cult or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I could totally see there's enough world building in just this tiny little short and enough character with her. Like I would happily have followed her across the wasteland. I loved this short. Genuinely
It's
loved it.
great.
It was so much fun. It's so camp.
Yeah.
It's just silly enough that it like kind of gets into almost like this sort of like blue skies tone that I love, and then it has that good for her ending, you know?
Oh
I
yeah.
I just this would have been an incredible role for
Yeah.
Tiffany to expand on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Uh
loved this.
Sequel. One. Let's get a sequel going. Just it could be
Let's
another
go.
15 minutes. Find out what Tiffany's done in the past 20 years on this wasteland. I mean, I would love to see something else with this. Other thing I appreciated about this is throughout, and we'll talk about this when we talk about Abominable and a lot of movies in this time period where she is sort of cast for her looks and stuff.
Mhm.
There's a definitely an exploitation element to it in terms of like, oh, we're just going to throw her topless and stuff like that. This there isn't that. Like you get the idea where he's like
No.
lusting after her and there's like close up stuff, but it
Yeah.
wasn't done in an exploitative way or that it easily could have. But it was just
Mhm.
it was played for like comedic sort of stuff, which I really, really appreciated. And I don't know if any Tiffany Shepis fans have many of them have seen this movie. I know I'm going to follow back up with the director. I know he at the time he had mentioned I could throw some clips in and everything of this. Um, I'll find out if it is up online anywhere yet. If it is, I will link it down below. I think he had told me that when I let him know that this episode was going to go up, he would kind of like put it public because it's like a private Vimeo account or something like that.
Mhm.
But definitely go in the description, click on this, watch it.
It's great.
You want 15 minutes of happiness in 2025? Go watch
Yes.
this. It's so freaking good. Man versus Woman, 2006, directed by
Yeah.
Juan Carlos Vargas.
The whole robot transformation
Oh
thing.
yeah, it's so good.
So good. It's so fun. It's
Yeah.
so silly. It's so camp. I just loved it.
It's intricate
Get into
too.
it.
Like the robot
Yeah.
is like all the individual dials
Yeah.
and widgets and stuff that it
Yeah.
transform. It's like a transformer essentially. It's running around. When you think it's dead, it's got the Terminator. It comes back like the Terminator.
I know.
It's like Tiffany diving around and shooting lasers. It's so good. It's so good. So
It's so good.
thank you, Mr. Vargas, for allowing us to see that short film
Mhm.
because it's definitely one of the coolest things I've watched for this show so far. Man vs. Woman.
Absolutely.
All right.
Totally agree.
So heading straight through the year, we're going to talk Abominable 2006. Not really
Wait, are
done.
we skipping Devil's Moon? That's
Oh,
2004.
oh, was it?
I mean, that's what I have in my notes.
See,
Am I
you
wrong?
are correct. No, you are correct. We're going to go Devil's
Look
Moon.
at you trying to skip Devil's Moon. Look at you, busted.
It's not like I'm trying to skip Devil's Moon.
We watched it. We're talking about it.
Yeah, we did watch it. We did watch it. So, Devil's Moon, it actually was shot in 2001.
Okay.
So it was released in 2004, directed by David DeFino. The cinematographer on this was Chad Farron. Chad Farron directed The Ghouls, which we watched in, I think, episode 3, which was a movie we actually liked. So I don't know what happened here. Well, actually, I kind of do. He was a cinematographer, and according to the notes on the director's website, that didn't go well. But let's talk about Devil's Moon, Rachel.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay.
Take me through this
This
adventure.
is going to be a little harder for me because as we'll get into this, there are long portions of this film that I literally could not see.
Yes.
So I'm kind of like, okay, this is the screamy part. Don't really know what happened. I did eventually like download it and put it through something so I could see something on the screen. But okay. So bear with me. This opens at like a office party and there is a salesman who's kind of a douche who is not hitting his quotas, and so his mean but also hot boss fires him. He says some very unprofessional things to her about her, nepotism hire. And he goes on his very sad way. After a brief, we also meet the other character who drinks a lot of Red Bull and enjoys racial stereotypes. And so he goes off in his not so merry way. She, on the other hand, is very upset because her sister is missing. We, as the audience, know that she has been killed by some sort of like Satan worshiper serial killer. I'm doing my best.
No, I mean,
didn't prepare a synopsis.
this is
off the
better
top of
than
my
I could
head.
do with this.
Okay, good. So the thing is, the serial killer thinks that he's made enough sacrifices, but he has not. So he goes out into the woods to hunt someone, and bad news for our mean boss lady, he targets her. Good news for our mean boss lady, the guy she just fired is also like moping in the forest for reasons unknown. So he kind of tries to save her, but they get tracked down by the serial killer. They fight to the death. They defeat the serial killer, and you think, happy ending. No, sir. Because unbeknownst to them, also in the woods, is a coven of witches led by Tiffany Shepherd's character, who is
Zelda.
doing
Her name is Zelda. Yeah.
Zelda, which is a great name.
Yeah.
Zelda is doing a ritual, and when the serial killer's blood dies, the ground drinks his blood, which allows this demon to be reborn. So now they're facing off with a demon.
Yeah.
That they also is turning everybody into deadites. And it becomes, and then their friend, who I mentioned earlier, shows up, and because he's jogging and in the woods, and the three of them have to figure out some way to stop the zombies and kill the demon baby. Yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think?
There's a demon baby. You can't see it because it's
Yeah.
so dark. There's a demon baby like floating around.
There's this great dialogue where like, did you see that? And I'm
Yeah.
like, no.
No, it's so dark. I can't see anything. Have you ever seen a movie called The Necro Files?
No.
Came out in
Is it all
1998, and it has a demon
okay?
baby, where it's literally just a
Okay.
plastic baby. If I can find a clip, I'll splice it in here. It's just a
Yeah.
demon baby, like, "Roar," like flying around, like killing people. I imagine that this was like the Necro Files. I just couldn't see it.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, I think that's essentially without I don't want to spoil the end for folks at home. So I'll stop there.
Yeah. So, boy, we'll talk about Tiffany's role in this. She doesn't show up until the 41-minute mark. So it's a while. Like you get the other two, the sort of like goth witches. One of
Mhm.
them's pregnant, and the other one's like, "What are you gonna do?" And like, "I don't know what I'm gonna do," and stuff. That's where the demon baby eventually comes from, whatever. But yeah, you could barely see Tiffany when she actually shows up.
It's the place right through the street. Sit, the center of the woods. I feel the most energy here. Do you feel it?
I definitely
Shut
feel.
up! Look, you speak when you're spoken to. Do you understand?
I understand.
Here's I'll answer the question.
I thought I felt something. Huh. But I didn't know what it was.
It's the spirit.
The spirit?
Yeah, the spirit of the forest. He's asleep. We're gonna wake him up. We have a lot of stuff to do. Let's just get started.
I just recognized her voice. I was like, "Oh, it's Tiffany Shepis." But yeah, it's very, very difficult. There's a couple shots where you can kind of see her. She's wearing like a long, like black wig, I think. That was
Mhm.
probably picked up at Spirit Halloween or something like that. I'm gonna read you my notes as I watch this movie, just so I can prove to people out there that we actually watch this stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
So I'm just gonna speed read what I wrote. Starts with a guy killing a woman on a bed and then having sex with her corpse while making incantations.
Herr Thomas, Flammen, I turn to Dr. Catharsis.
That's how it. That's how the film
Right,
actually
you're right.
started.
It's just
I'm like, oh
yeah.
boy, we're in for it now. Super low budget, $10. Allison fires Cody, supposed to be at some high-powered sales firm or something, but it's clearly just an office.
Your termination is effective immediately. You can clean out your desk right now.
God damn it, you know what? You can't fucking fire me because I quit. You know what? Fuck this place and fuck you.
Out. Now.
My first quote, everything is so dark. Hazel, 12 weeks pregnant.
So, you haven't told me what the doctor said. You can sip of that. Sure. Well?
He said I should stock up on diapers and baby formula.
No.
Yes.
How long?
12 weeks.
Have you told anyone?
Brutal. I really don't want to talk about it right now. Okay?
Okay.
Can only get mandrake root on the internet.
Did you get everything?
The mandrake root was a little hard to come by. I had to order it on the internet. It's the only place you can get it.
Marcus brings in a boombox and plays the worst music I've ever heard, and everyone immediately starts dancing.
Marcus is in. Let the party begin. Pull that girl. There you go.
Here he goes.
And the world, get it on, get it on. You and the world.
Killer needs to keep sacrificing women for Satan, who he talks to in the woods and who communicates via thunder.
Another sacrifice? On the next full moon? When is that? I understand. All the power in the universe, and he's got me to do his dirty work.
Like, Satan's literally communicating to him via thunder. Cool car, looks like a Rolls Royce. 28-minute-ish mark. I've got you. Oh, yes. So this is the best part of the movie for me. The 28 minutes. Remember, there's like that car accident or something. Like they almost get to it.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "I've got your insurance. Mutual of fuck you."
Hey, pal, if you have proof of insurance, you just ran me off the goddamn road.
I got insurance. Mutual of
Well, never mind. I'll fix myself.
Love that one. That was good. That was good. Next note. Another great quote. "I just got my legs waxed. There's no way I'm going into the woods wearing what I've got on."
Well, wait a minute. I have to change first. I just got my legs waxed. There's no way I'm going into the woods wearing what I've got on.
Your legs what?
I've got some jeans in the car.
Love that.
Medically accurate, I guess.
41-minute mark. Tiffany shows up as some goth witch. She wants to wake up the spirit of the forest. 46 minutes. Tiff needs gold as an expression of wealth. So,
Throw in the gold, Jesus.
Gold? You never said anything about gold.
Fuck, we need gold as an offering of material wealth.
But I never even heard.
It's not gonna work without it.
Your navel ring. Let's have it.
But it's silver. Will it work?
No, it has to be gold. Hazel fucking told you.
what they actually they have to take like a gold nipple ring to
Correct.
do part of the sacrifice.
I'm calling shenaners on that, but okay, we got to get our top off somehow.
Yeah. I don't think it was Tiffany Shepard's. That wasn't her. It was. I think in the end credits it says stunt boob, and then it literally names the girl who was the stunt boob. So yeah, which is an old Troma trick. Troma did that as well. Tiffany super pissed that the girl is pregnant. She's very mean in this movie. Like she was pissed off at this girl's pregnancy.
What is your problem? Morning sickness? You're pregnant?
Sorry, I didn't think it was...
Sorry, are you crazy? Leave the circle! Spirits can detect sickness. It's a sign of weakness.
She's like, you're gonna fuck up the entire ritual. Get out of the circle. Get out of the circle. I can't wait to splice these clips, folks. You won't be able to see anything, but you'll be able to hear.
It's more of a vibe, okay?
Yeah,
just
totally.
embrace the vibes.
Yeah. I have at about the 50-minute mark, you cannot see Tiffany at all. It's totally black. 55-minute mark, baby popping out of the stomach. It looks like the chest burster sort of coming out of Ripley and Aliens a little bit.
Help! The baby!
What's wrong with her? What do we do? I think she's in labor. I don't know what to do. She's in labor.
Oh, fuck, just take her goddamn pants off.
Yes.
Then I have Tiffany gets possessed ? I wasn't sure. I think she gets dead-eyed. And then at the 107 mark, death reel.
Come on!
Tiffany gets what? Do you remember how she dies? Could you see it?
I feel by that point I had pumped it up and it was just more like shapes. I think she got beheaded.
Yes, she did. They get like a sword or something and they chop her.
Yeah,
They chop her head
she's
off.
using the sword to make circles. I think it's the ritual sword.
Yeah.
From the but I may have seen some shine off of it amongst the blackness.
And then 1 hour 21-minute mark, there's a Jerry Springer devil worshiper mention.
So, what we saw back there, I mean, what was chasing us is...
evil in its pure spiritual form?
Right. On the news, they said that he killed people in a ritualistic fashion. He was a devil worshiper or something.
Yeah, I saw it on Jerry a couple weeks ago. He had all these devil worshippers on his show. They said that they all made a pact with the devil to be immortal. You have to sacrifice so many people to Satan, and he'll give you immortality.
Man, we're traveling to some dark territory here, man.
Stuff I watched it on Jerry Springer or something, which I thought
That's
was
a good line. That's a good line. Let's give it credit where credit is
There's
due.
a few good lines in here. Like, just close your eyes and listen to it. Pretend like it's an audio drama or something, and you might get some entertainment out of
Guess
it.
what? You don't have to close your eyes.
That's true. That's true. For sure. For sure. So that's Devil's Moon. Tiffany's in it. Oh, God, maybe 5 minutes total. It's mostly these other characters doing these other serendipitously all converging in the same forest location.
Sure.
Now, the website of the director, because I was trying to find some information about this, we went to his website. He's got a whole soliloquy on what went wrong making this movie. And I feel for him because this has happened to me many, many times. I totally understand. Here's some choice things here about how he met Tiffany. It says the director met Tiffany while trying unsuccessfully to get another script named Revelations made. So he cast her as one of the goth girls. The film was shot in and around Los Angeles on the weekends for a total of 14 days over 2 months in the middle of the woods with no power and battery packs that would repeatedly fail. And the director is very upfront about, I know that this went haywire. The cinematographer, I think he's got this quote on here, the cinematographer who directed stuff, and the guy's done some good stuff directing wise, but he's like, turns out he wasn't a cinematographer. He's like, did that look good? Yep. I don't know what Chad Farron was looking at when he saw a black screen. But what are your thoughts on Tiffany's role in Devil's Moon?
I mean, I did like that she sort of was playing against type. I wish we could have seen her because I feel like probably she brought a lot more to it than we actually got to see. But it was kind of nice to see her in a different kind of role. You know, I do think to some degree she kind of gets put into, like, there's a handful of boxes that she fits, and she does a great job in those boxes. But to see her break out of that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I do think also, because I read the same blog post that you sent me, what really I came away from this was, first of all, like that the movie, as bad as it is, and he's very self-aware about this, as you say, it was a labor of love. There was like a desire to make something that he would like, the kind of movie that he loves, and to the this is where I get into what I was saying at the beginning with that quote, is I do feel like you can get a sense that Tiffany just likes making movies and she wants to, like, be a part of a labor of love regardless of the outcome, and that comes through in this, and I think there is value in that was sort of, when I was looking at through, I was not like trying to review this movie because, like, what am I going to do? Tell you that this micro budget movie sucks? Like, he knows, you know, like,
there's no
I'm trying
point
to think
to
about
review it.
No, and that's not fun. Who wants to, like, shit on somebody's movie? But so I was just kind of in a headspace of, like, trying to see, the Tiffany of it. And what I kind of was like, okay, she was having fun in the woods, camping it up, doing this over the top sort of gothy witchy performance. Looks like she's, from what I could see, having a good time with it. And I think that sometimes the creation of it is enough. You know what I mean? I think that there's value and fun to be had in that. So that was my take. I did pull a quote from that blog though that I think is kind of maybe part of a larger conversation we want to have, which is, he says, I was well aware that the movie would have mistakes, but I did so with but so did most of the movies that I enjoyed. There were actually several places in the movie where I deliberately used bad takes because I found them hysterical. I guess I was too naive to understand that when you're trying to make a bad, quote, bad horror movie and you succeed, you end up with a bad horror movie.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I was so endeared by that line. All of my irritation with the 30 minutes that I spent staring at a black screen kind of like evaporated.
Yeah. No, I think I think it's interesting. Obviously, you know, what I think is cool about sort of this whole show is that we don't review the movies, you know,
Yeah.
because the thing about it is like you're 100% right. Like who cares about like trashing on something that, you know, didn't turn out the way that a micro no budget filmmaker had. But it
Right.
makes no sense, right? And
Right.
trying to find, especially I think in today's day and age where it's like I don't really want to continue contributing to just constant negativity when everything seems to
Right.
be negative, which is why
Right.
it's like, yeah, this wasn't a good movie, but I still had moments where I laughed and I had fun with it, and I was just like,
Mhm.
you know, I've got your insurance, mutual, fuck you. I will never forget that line.
Hey, pal, if you have proof of insurance, you just ran me off the goddamn road.
I got insurance. Mutual.
Well, never mind. I'll fix myself.
So
that's gonna show up in an
Yeah.
outpost on
yeah, I will probably
Scream King
homage that,
production.
Mr. DeFino.
Yeah.
I'm going to homage that in one of my films at some point down the line. And I also think it's cool, like at least at this point in her career, she was
Mhm.
willing to do anything with everybody.
Yeah.
Because you got to know, like, you know, there's actors that have been on my sets who are like, is this kind of amateur hour? Especially when I was first starting, you know, it's like these guys don't know
Yeah.
what they're doing. But again, it's like, you know, he said he wanted to make a movie with her called Revelations. Didn't get made. He's like, well, you want to be one of the goth girls in there? And the fact that she's like, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's
Sure,
go
why
out in the
not?
woods
Yeah.
and, you know, do whatever. I don't know. Maybe she's on set for a day or two or something, just spend a weekend out in the woods hanging out with people. She's probably got a lot of great memories from that time or something that stands out to her. So yeah, it's Devil's Moon. It's on, gosh, I think it was actually Tiffany's husband, Sean Tretta, that sent this to us. It's on a 50 pack of movies. I'll post a photo of it, like Terror Pack or something, but I don't know if it's very easy to find this one at all either. But if I
Mhm.
can find it, I'll link it down in the description. If not, I'll link it to the eBay. You can buy the 50 pack of terror movies or whatever. So Devil's Moon, check that out. You want to end on Dorm of the Dead or Abominable? Which would you prefer?
Should we just like knock out Dorm of the Dead?
Yeah, let's do it.
Like and end on the stronger films so we're not just like
Yes,
meh.
yes. Maybe should I turn on my light? It's gotten very dark.
It is real
I'm like
dark in there.
creepy. I'm like
And it
glowing.
does feel funny that we're like making fun of this dark movie as you're like slipping deeper and
Shit, why did
deeper
she
into
say
the void.
something? I wasn't even paying any
I
attention.
don't
Just a
know,
little creepy. Okay, now you guys can see me. Okay, let's talk about Dorm of the Dead. Came out in 2006, directed by notorious micro budget auteur Donald Farmer.
Oh.
Have you ever heard of Donald Farmer? Okay.
No, I'm getting a double education
Okay.
tonight. Tell me about Donald.
Well, first warning, or
You said what you said.
this will not be the last Donald Farmer movie we watch for this show.
Oh dear. Okay.
So I think Tiffany's in at least one other Donald Farmer movie. Donald Farmer is kind of notorious for how bad his micro budget movies are. He has made a zillion of them. He basically just grabs a camera, finds some girls that, you know, want to show whatever they want to show and does some stuff. Now,
I've been on a real roller coaster with this story.
Donald Farmer kind of gained somewhat notoriety fairly recently because Red Letter Media they actually did an episode where they covered Dorm of the Dead, and then they did their own, like, it was like Donald Farmer's Market.
What is this?
Welcome, little boy, to the Donald Farmer's Market.
Who the f*** is Donald Farmer?
Donald Farmer is a notoriously terrible filmmaker and an even better pervert. We've watched several films by Donald Farmer on Best of the Worst in the past, including Shark Exorcist and Dorm of the Dead.
episode where they just watched nothing but Donald Farmer movies, and they were just talking about all of them. So Donald Farmer getting some notoriety, at least in some internet circles now because of it, but his films are notoriously no budget, just whatever we get is what we get. I put it out. I have no shame. This is what I'm putting out into the world, sort of thing. So yeah, and Tiffany plays Amy. So talk to us about Dorm of the Dead, Rachel. What's this one all about?
Ooh, I feel like this is going to be the hardest one to synopsize. So bear with me because I do feel like this one did not stick as well as some of the other ones. So this opens with a couple in a room, and he wants to get frisky and she wants to not get frisky. So she kicks him out and he gets assaulted by a bunch of hot co-ed zombies. Then we are introduced to kind of a outcast sort of misfitty girl who has to find a new place. So she gets a room at this really crummy dorm, which looks like a full trap house cracked in. I don't know what is happening here. She and her best friend, she's a vegetarian. Her best friend is a meat eater. They like to hang out in graveyards and go through drive-throughs and argue about meat. They also have caught the eye of the local college bully, who's kind of like your sort of like truly 2006's version of like a mean girl. Everything about it is just so perfectly on the nose with the costuming and the hair and everything. And they have a class with a very strange professor who has come back from Haiti and has created some sort of like zombie serum, and or not created, that's appropriation. He has Ooh, problematic.
Canceled. You've been canceled.
I've been canceled. So he has acquired some zombie serum, which he uses on one of his students who he's having an affair with, and then that creates an outbreak. I think this is right. Okay. Eventually, then the mean girl like really takes it to the next level, steals the formula, gives it to the main girl, who goes through like a whole Return of the Living Dead 3 arc where she slowly becomes like a zombie and wants to eat flesh. Jesus Christ, I don't actually remember what happens next.
Doesn't matter.
But in the midst of all of this,
none of it matters.
The Tiffany Shepard of it all is that she is a hot, seductive lesbian who is in a relation, like is like a side piece for someone who gets caught by, and then they all become zombies. Fuck, I don't remember. I'm so sorry.
No, why are you sorry? It's actually good. It shows character that you forgot what this is.
My moral fortitude was like the Teflon.
Yeah, it's like no more. I can take this much Donald Farmer, but after that, we're just deleting whatever comes through into the eyeballs. This is another movie where Tiffany Shepis is kind of like, the lesbian character. I think we're introduced to her at the 7-minute mark after the opening credits. So it says, I have Tiff plays Amy in the midst of a lesbian makeout session with ridiculous music. The music is insanity in this movie. Like it's like Donald Farmer was like, all right, Tiffany, just make out with this girl for the next 10 minutes. I'm going to put like the worst. How do you even describe the music that is in this movie? It's like, I don't know. I'm not I'm not technically a musician, but I'm not really a good musician, so I can't describe the music very well. But go! I'm terrible, but it's awful.
Self-aware king.
It's so like it's so weird because I will point out with all the exploitative elements in this movie, Tiffany does not get nude or anything like that. The other girl she's like making out with does. She's like, yay, pulling her tops off and everything. But This is not like exploitation in that kind of way, at least with regards to Tiffany's role. But yeah, she eventually gets bit.
Come on! Don't die, please don't die! No! Run! Run!
Like she's in the carport, right, or something, and then the girl bites her ankle or something. I don't even remember. And then she appears every once in a while throughout the rest of the movie. I think she's there when the zombies are gonna turn on the guy that you said had culturally appropriated the the zombie serum. She's there, and then I'm like, surely she's a zombie. She's gonna die. She's gonna get shot. Something's gonna happen, right? And I watched this movie all the way through to the end credits, like the last frame. And I think she's in the last frame of this movie through the end credits. And she's just like making out. She just in the I wonder if all the Donald Farmers are like a cinematic universe. Is Tiffany just a zombie in Donald Farmer's cinematic universe, wandering the streets making out with women? I don't know. I don't know.
Let's hope not, because then we're gonna have to watch a lot more of these movies.
There's at least one more. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about this. Any other comments you have about Dawn of the Dead?
I mean, it's kind of comical how bad some of the editing in this is, and the continuity in this is wild. I'm thinking in particular, there is a scene in the classroom where I don't even know that they're the same room. Like the color, the lighting, the color temperature, the audio, like it sounds like different kinds of mics, and it just cuts back and forth, like with no attempt to even sort of stitch them together so that it feels like it's happening at the same time.
Well, it looks like it was shot at two completely different times, like years apart or something.
Wild. It is wild. And so it almost becomes like a film oddity. You know what I mean? Like it becomes, I think it would be something that would actually be great in a group. Like if you had some sort of, now Matthew, don't start with me, like a drinking game around it. Like every time there's a massive continuity error, drink a gentle sip of your scotch.
Gentle. Neat.
Yes, a gentleman's sip of scotch.
By the way, speaking of scotch, there's a new alcohol place that opened in town. They got a $6,000 bottle of scotch.
I saw that. I was wondering if you were going to get it.
No. When we monetize, when the Outpost Unknown starts raking in the big bucks, monetization.
Cheers with a $6,000 scotch. I like it.
So yeah, Dawn of the Dead. I did have a conversation topic. We don't have to spend too much time on this. As you know, this and something like Devil's Moon. Do you see a difference between something like this and Devil's Moon, or would you lump these sort of things together as sort of like no budget, so micro, but like what is the value of these sorts of things?
You know what? I think there's a level of sincerity to Devil's Moon. Like he was really trying to do something. There's something cynical about this movie. Like it doesn't have the same, there's a labor of love that goes into the Devil's Moon. I mean, obviously it went off the rails. There were problems, obviously.
Yeah.
But this one feels so haphazard. It doesn't, I don't know. Like, I don't feel any heart in this, if that makes
Yeah.
any sense.
No, I think that is a really great point, because I think that that's like the differentiating line between whether you can enjoy a bad movie
Mhm.
or just really despise it. Is, was there an actual effort, even if they failed completely,
Yeah.
like you said? Was there, can you see between the frames, right, of the filmmaker
Yeah.
trying to stitch the frames together into something? Are there
Yeah.
creative shots? Are there,
Yeah.
is there anything at all? And in something like Dorm of the Dead, and other Donald Farmer movies I have seen, it doesn't feel that way. Now maybe he is
Yeah.
being genuine and is like, this is my language. This is how I express myself.
Right.
But it's getting lost in translation of it. There's something about it
Yeah.
that feels, both of
Yeah.
these in terms of how they're created and stuff. I mean, they're no budget, but yeah, this feels different. It feels a
Yeah.
little icky, honestly.
It yeah,
Feels icky
yeah, there's
watching it. You're
something
just
a
kind of,
little it's a little sleazy in a way that doesn't feel. I mean, you and I are both creative people. Like, that's we are very creative people. We've made good things and we made bad things. Like, I've written articles that are terrible. Like, you did not like my screenplay. Like, you know what I mean? We have both succeeded and failed in our creative endeavors. But like, there is effort behind them. There
yeah,
is there is something where we are expressing something. We are attempting to do something. And you can feel like it's like baking with love. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
don't feel like this was baked with love.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's why horror fans are so forgiving of bad movies, because even
Mhm.
when they're bad, you can feel
Feel
that
the love.
love. You can feel
Yeah.
it. You can taste it. You can eat it.
Yeah.
Whereas this one didn't feel that way. Now maybe the next Donald Farmer movie we watch
Yeah.
will blow our minds and it'll be completely different, and we'll feel that.
Yeah.
But this one didn't feel it, Don. Didn't feel it. Um,
No, and not enough Tiffany,
Yeah,
period.
put her in the movie, like, the whole make her the lead. Why? Why?
Yes.
Why are we
We're
just
getting ahead of my
Okay,
critiques of the next film.
okay, okay. So, Abominable, 2006,
Yes,
directed by Ryan Schifrin.
yes,
I did look up
yes.
his IMDb. Now I remember back in the day when we were involved in circles that shall not be named, Ryan Schifrin was kind of like, he wasn't a huge name, but he was a name. Like, he'd be on
Mhm.
podcasts. I'd see him on articles and horror websites and stuff. And I think I watched. Gosh, did I see a round table of him with like Eli Roth at one point in time and stuff? Like, this guy seemed like he was going to be a name, but according to IMDb, he hasn't done anything since 2015, and he didn't really do a whole lot.
He's just living on those abominable, like, dividends, you
Yeah,
know?
the residuals. Gosh. Well, I'm glad to contribute 10 cents to your bank account, Ryan. So yeah, Abominable. Let's talk about this one, Rachel.
Sure. Okay, so this one opens with Dee Wallace, who I'm always
Yeah.
excited to see. I will say the cameos in this are cameoing. There is a
Yes,
lot of really great sort of beloved genre actors that pop up in
for
small
sure.
roles in this. So she and her husband live on kind of a remote sort of cabin or farm in the woods, and there is a creature in the woods that ends up attacking the house, which we'll circle back to. Then we catch up with our main character, who is Preston Rogers, who is someone who was seriously injured. He's, I believe, paralyzed from the waist down after a climbing accident that caused these injuries and also led to the death of his wife.
Don't
And
they
he's returning.
don't they call
What's
it
that?
Suicide Bluff? Like they were hiking on
Suicide bluff. Yes.
Suicide Bluff.
Right. Which
Probably
kind
avoid
of
that.
feels like a hint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that's like a pro life tip from us to you. So he's returning home and kind of against his will with a very, very unkind live-in nurse.
Otis.
Yes. Otis. Otis should have gone into a different vocation.
Yeah.
Um, and at the same time, a group of young nubile ladies are going away for a
Nubile, you
weekend.
say? Nubile.
Nubile
It's a
indeed.
good word, nubile.
They are staying in the cabin next door, which he in a largely non-creepy way, kind of rear windows. He begins watching them from
Kinda.
afar.
It is rear.
Okay, high key.
It's very
High
rear
key
window.
rear windows.
Yeah, he rear windows them. That sounds bad,
Yes.
but yeah.
uh, and he begins to see signs that they are not alone in the woods. There's rustling in the trees, and lo and behold, what we come to discover is that there is a yeti in those woods, an abominable snowman in those woods, and it is very territorial and starts picking off the nubile ladies next door.
Yeah.
Well, he tries to warn them, but nobody believes him, of course, because he seems like a creepy old man with a pair of binocs. And yeah, that's kind of the gist.
Yeah, and Tiffany is one of the nubile girls who are part. Is it like a
Yes.
bachelorette party or something? I think.
I believe so. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. We don't get a lot of character building with the ladies next door, which is a little disappointing. There's like cell phone girl and Tiffany, and then the others.
yeah. What I have noticed in these films that is so interesting to me, and if I was still in film school, I would probably write a paper about it, is just the serendipitous nature of how all characters just randomly come together to get these movies like started. Like two different groups of
Yeah.
people. This is now the second movie we watched where randomly in the woods two completely different types of people show up and then shenanigans ensue. Here are my notes for this. Oh yeah, so Jeffrey Combs
Yes.
shows up and he's a gas station attendant in this. He's got like big Coke bottle glasses and he's wearing the oxygen and smoking like a chimney. Lance Henriksen is in this as well. So yeah, like you said, Dee Wallace, you get a lot of cameos in this. My problem, I think, was again, there's not enough Tiffany Shepis in this. There's not enough the girls in general
Period.
in this.
Yeah.
Tiffany shows up at the 18-minute mark. Bunch of girls next door. And then she basically doesn't show up much after that. I mean, she's got this one.
She makes an impression.
Well, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that. This is what I have for my notes for her role because God, it's got to be less than 3 minutes screen time. I mean, she's barely in it. Tiffany plays Tracy, one of a group of girls hanging out at a cabin for the weekend during the bachelorette party. Not much to her character, and she's not in it very long. The one thing I noticed, other than what the moment we're going to get to in a second here, is she starts yelling at one of the girls who tosses a drink in her face, causing her to go take a shower, of course. And then we get what becomes probably the coolest moment in the movie, I think. Set up what happens to lovely Miss Shepis here.
So once she's completed her ablutions, she hears a little something outside the window and goes, "What? You don't like ablutions?"
I'm talking about like you're just like the words you're throwing out tonight. I'm impressed. I got to start like looking through the dictionary and just find words. And the next episode I can be like, and Rachel, blah 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 blah, and you're like, ooh, I'm not intellectual enough for this.
Oh, stop. So after she takes the shower, she heads over to the window because she hears something, and we get the best kill of the movie in which he reaches in and pulls her, and she closes like accordion style right out the window.
It's awesome.
It's great. It's actually great.
Super awesome. It reminded me of the sequence in The Raft from Creepshow 2, where the guy, remember when the raft pulls him down, his leg goes like bends up, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
as he's pulling through. It reminded me of that, but yeah, it's so cool. It happens so suddenly too. It's like blink and you miss it. Like they don't do a very good job of like setting up like tension or suspense. It's just creepy rear window, clearance rack Jimmy Stewart. So like, oh my gosh, and he just boom, goes Otis, you know, and it's just like, you know, but it's cool. I mean, it looks cool.
It is.
Yeah, and we'll play it in the death reel right now. And there you go. So 2 deaths finally this episode. We're building up that death reel of Tiffany. I wonder how many minutes it's going to get up to, because I always splice it in every time there's a death. We watch all of them back to back to back to back on the episode, so it's gonna get up there, I hope.
Yeah, we'll have to do like Price is Right rules. Like, put it in the comments. How many minutes do you think it's going to be? The
There you
closest
go.
who doesn't go over gets a.
Well,
What, what prize do we have?
okay, so when we think about prizes, clearly when we show up at this unnamed convention down the road, we'll have Miss Shepard sign some things, and then we can give them away to the viewers as prizes. See,
That's very smart.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. The movie. Did you like the movie? Like, in terms of, did you get enjoyment from the movie, or?
You know what? I actually did have a pretty decent time with this. I do kind of like, as goofy as it is, sort of the combination of rear windowing and cryptids, because like if you think about people who, claim to have witnessed cryptids sighting, like, having these sightings, like they're largely disbelieved. And so there is like a little bit of gaslighting for them if they genuinely believe they saw that. That sort of does kind of mesh well with the kind of rear window situation, which is largely about like, seeing something and being disbelieved about it. So I thought that was kind of an interesting approach to a monster cryptid movie.
Yeah.
I think again, the Tiffany being sort of a secondary character to me feels like kind of a waste. And the thing I was thinking about as I was watching this, and that I wrote in my notes, is like, why is Tiffany not the final girl in this movie?
I know.
She so clearly is the most compelling of all the girls. She has the most charisma. And I don't know if it's just like a 2000s thing, like I think a modern, like the idea of who gets to be the final girl was maybe not as advanced as it is now, where we could have someone that was a little more complex and not just sort of your cookie cutter. And I feel like her character would be rewarded more now, and so it feels very strange to have the most compelling character just be treated like quick body count, although she did get a great death.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question: If let's say you were in her shoes back then, right?
Mm. Mhm.
And the director was like, "Hey, you can be the final girl in this," right? And honestly, I don't even
Mhm.
remember the final girl in this movie. Like, all the other
Right.
actresses were
Right.
just, I mean, there's just nothing to them. They're completely forgettable. You
Right.
can be the final girl in this abominable movie I'm making, or you could be in it, kind of side character, but you clearly get the death scene that everyone will remember from this movie.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if she was offered the final girl role. Maybe she at the time was like, "Hell no, man! Pull me through the the window, because that will look
Yeah.
cool." But I gotta think, like, I mean, I don't know. What would you do in that situation? Would you want that lead, kind of, essentially, or, I mean, a co-lead, I guess, because clearance track Jimmy Stewart would technically be
Yeah.
the lead, or would you want that moment where everyone goes, "Oh, hell yeah, that was a cool," because
I mean, it is show business, right? So you
yeah.
gotta think, depending, I don't know what her pay was compared to the girl that was the final girl. She was on set less days, but she got paid the most amount and got the most memorable scene in the movie. Like, that's good business. I think I just, as a Tiffany Shepis fan, I feel robbed. I think her as a business person probably made the better choice, but I just want to see more of her on screen, and I feel like she has final girl energy. That being said, as you're saying that though, I was kind of like, yeah, actually she probably made the right call, because what do you even remember about the final girl? Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. She doesn't do anything. She gets like rescued.
Yeah, but
Like,
I
you
guess,
know,
yeah, but perhaps if Tiffany had been in that role, maybe she would have had sway
she would
and
have
said,
brought
"Well,
more. Yeah,
bring a different approach to it to the director." I don't know.
that's true.
Um,
That's true.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say what may or may not have happened, but I think the consensus is when we're watching these things is like, why is she in this so little? So little.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
as a director myself, I've had instances where you have actors and you're like, this actor is clearly the shining star here, or this actor is bringing something or has the it factor that the other people don't. Not to say that they're being bad or anything like that, but they just have it. And
Mhm.
if you want people to watch your movie, you've got to make sure the person who has it is in your movie and not in it for 3 minutes or completely in the dark for 5 minutes
Yeah.
or something like that. So it's a little
Although
disappointing,
it
but
does
help. The death scene is
kind of put
cool.
her in the same bucket though as like Jeffrey Combs and Lance Henriksen and Dee Wallace, you
Yeah,
know, and to some degree she
true.
almost has like a cameo role in this.
That's true. That's
And
a good
I
point.
do definitely see her more as one of those, like that sort of, if you were putting them in buckets, right? Like I see her more
Yeah.
in being in that bucket than some of the other
Yeah.
bucket, the
Now,
lesser bucket.
the last thing I'll say about this movie was I remember watching this on the Sci-Fi Channel. Like this was a
Oh
Sci-Fi
yeah.
Channel original movie back in
Yeah.
2006 or whenever it
It did
showed up.
festival. It
Yeah,
did festival.
I
Yeah.
remember seeing
It
it
did a
back on the
fantastic
day
job.
in the other
Yeah.
life that we used to leave. I think we actually probably reviewed this. Don't tell me I interviewed Tiffany Shepis and I don't remember it because then we're gonna have real problems. Don't gaslight me.
You might have.
Matthew, you're interviewing Tiffany Shepis? I remember
That would
I
be
remember we gave her an
so
award, but we never actually
okay.
gave the actual physical award to
Do
her.
we bring her the award?
We must. We have to. We have to. So Tiffany, at some point, Rachel and I are going to walk up to a booth at a random horror convention. We're not going to tell you we're going to show you there, and we're going to see if you know who we are. And
We're getting
then
restraining orders in the mail
we
next week,
will
dude.
restraining orders. It's like we will bring the award that was given to you many years ago, like 2010 or something like that. It was a lifetime achievement award, wasn't it? I'm
I
pretty
think
sure. Yeah,
so.
yeah. I think we
Yeah.
actually have the actual statuette and everything. So yeah,
Wow.
wow. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we'll get that to you, Tiffany. But only if you recognize us. Otherwise, we'll just smash it right in front of you, and then we'll go do a
You're
Daniel
definitely
Harris
getting
pod or show.
orders.
So I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So yeah, was there anything else that you wanted to say about Abominable? Any other discussion topic you had about that? I didn't want to. I know you said you wanted to segue into something with that. I didn't know if we covered it or not.
Oh no, I mean it was mostly just like the final girl of it all and kind of feeling like that it was that she sort of like robbed of some rules based on like cultural norms at the
Yeah,
time that a movie like this came out. And I feel like it would be different in 2025 because she's such a scene stealer, you know.
for sure.
Another evidence of the fact that she is a scene stealer is this film for sure.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, that's it, folks. That is episode 7 of GoreFest at Tiffany's. As we said at the beginning, for the next episode, we would like to be able to cover The Basement, Speed Bag, and They Know. So if you guys can help us out with that, you know where we can find those movies. Send an email to outpostunknown@gmail.com or leave a comment down below, maybe a link or something to eBay or wherever. Or maybe you have your own copy and you're like, give me $800 for it and I'll make sure to give it to you. We'll consider it as soon as we monetize. But if we can't find those films, we are going to plan to cover a movie called Hoodoo for Voodoo. This is directed by Stephen Shea, who is kind enough to send us a gift bag of cool stuff, including the movie and a T-shirt that says Hoodoo for Voodoo.
No.
Yeah, I want to cover Homesick, which is the first feature by Adam Wingard, and she's in that.
What?
Yeah. So I think we might have some good stuff coming up. and a plethora of
Okay,
other
I'm a
stuff.
Wingard head. That's exciting.
Okay.
I like this. This is great.
And any other stuff we can get our hands on. So hit that like and subscribe. Share the show with others. If you know fans of Tiffany Shepis, let them know that our show exists and it's out there in the ether. And look, you just got another hour and a half. You got like 90 more minutes of Tiffany Shepis goodness that you can enjoy. So thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you on the next GoreFest at Tiffany's.
Bye, everybody.